This is the message we wanted the aliens to get. Something that I cannot imagine any being, no matter their culture, no matter their brain, not viewing as a declaration of war. And if they missed all these messages, we also broadcast the entirety of the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. We sent them messages from a defunct social media site called Bebo. At one point, somebody for some reason sent them all the classified listings from Craigslist. I would not have chosen any of this. None of this represents me. All it does is make me feel very, very embarrassed to be a human. At a certain point, I felt like all I wanted was to find one message we'd sent that didn't make me just want to crawl into a hole and die. And that's how I met Martin.
Martin Lewis, producer, writer, and humorist.
Martin Lewis, like everybody else I talked to for some reason, is British, although he actually lives in the United States. And the only thing you need to know about Martin Lewis is that he's a really big Beatles fan.
I was playing around one day and I noticed that, we were coming up to the 40th anniversary of the recording of the song Across the Universe. And the philosophy of the song always spoke to me.
What is the philosophy of the song for people that don't know it?
There's more words in that song, more verses and more words than in any other John Lennon song. It was a kaleidoscope of images, and it was just the notion that the power of love, not the romantic love, but just the feeling of love, that was the most powerful message you could have.
So it's a Beatles song. In my opinion, not the best Beatles song. Nobody asked me. Anyway, Martin got in touch with NASA.
And the guy at NASA I was speaking to, I told him the idea. I said, I want to take the Beatles song Across the Universe, across the universe. He said, yes, it could be done. We've never done it, but yes, it could be done.
So then Martin tried to get permission to use the song.
Yoko, she loved the idea, and she wrote a beautiful tribute that said something, this is a short version, that said, this is great, that John and the Beatles' music will now go out to reach billions and billions of planets across the universe. Meanwhile, I then got a message from Paul, just said, great idea, give my love to the aliens. And I contacted the music publishing company, who should be nameless because I don't want to embarrass Sony, but the guy I spoke to there was completely soulless, joyless, humorless, and said, well, if you're sending a radio signal of one of our compositions, then you have to, a royalty has to be paid. I said, we're beaming it into space, man. We agree that you can collect the royalty, but you have to collect it yourself.
Eventually, Martin was able to get everybody on board. And when the big day came, he got to be there. He was at Mission Control at the Jet Propulsion Laboratories in Pasadena, California, in the launch room.
It was like Mission Control in Apollo 13. There was this beautiful room, and it was set up with all the scientists, and there was a big logo, the NASA logo, the Beatles logo, and the words Across the Universe.
And when they do the countdown and then they hit play, I mean, would then in that room, in the control room with all these NASA people, did you hear the song, or is it like it's being sent over waves or something like that? So no,
we both. We had they at that point they did it. Press the button. Yes, the MP3 file was being started transmission. And then simultaneously, of course, they did play the song in that room. And again, I really had it was emotional.
Look, as a person who is very glad that Martin sent this message, I still cannot guarantee that it was a good idea. I do not know what a Beatles song is going to mean to an alien. But maybe the point of these messages is not actually what aliens think of them. These are messages that we're sending to someone who might not exist, who we really do not expect to get a response from, which means that maybe we should just think of them more like we think of prayers. Because if you think of them as prayers, messages that are offering hope and comfort to the people who send them, then at least like a lot of them make more sense. You step out into the silence and you say something and you don't get an answer, but that's okay because just saying it does something to you. Like afterwards, the exact same silence is still there, but now that silence feels different. You feel less alone. And if we use that standard, I really like Martin's message. It's just sending a message of like love and British rock into the universe. And I think that's how Martin sees it too, because when he heard that there were scientists who thought sending a Beatles song out had been a bad idea, he wasn't offended. It just didn't even make sense to him.
And at first I thought it was a hoax. And once I realized there were people as crazy to be serious about it, I did remember that, hey, that's what we were fighting against in the 1960s, the kind of small-minded, blue-meanie spirit. A few days later, I ran into Yoko Ono, and she said, "Did you read about those?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to ask you." She said, "Is that crazy or what?" If there are aliens, they're going to have a spark of spirit and humanity. And when you listen to great music, I think you're going to be full of admiration that some creatures from another planet sent a message out there that if they could decipher it or just listen to the harmonic vibration of it, it's positive. It's not aggressive. It's not threatening them with anything. It's surrounding them with love. And that's not a bad little sentiment to send across the universe.